Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we talk about all things Disney, but we're Epcot-centered.
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in our rankings and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when this episode would have been for our grandparents.
This is episode 112, Epcot for Senior Disney Adults.
Or, if you're a senior adult, or just feel like one, this episode's for you.
So now, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian Adventure.
We call it Epcot.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 112 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And, yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm old.
He's old.
He's old. Well, you're a little old.
Hey.
You're not that. Yeah. You're about 6 years younger than me, so.
Yes, it's true.
We're not really senior adults yet, but yet.
We're real close.
If you look at the calendar, you would think we were. So, yeah, this episode is for Disney senior adults and how to do Epcot. So, you don't have to be a senior adult to use some of these tricks and tips and reviews and things we're about to talk about, but if you just feel like it, you don't have the stamina anymore, you've got some mobility problems, you're there with a kid pushing a stroller who's whiny. This kind of will work with a lot of those different scenarios.
Yeah, so this is really sort of a follow-up to our how to do a chill day at Epcot, on how to do Epcot if thrill rides are not your main purpose. Like, what else is there to do if you don't want to attack the mountain range at Disney, or you don't want to be running from ride to ride to ride to ride? How else can you do Epcot? So this is sort of in that idea.
Well, and this is really for some people who just can't. I'm at the point now where I'll walk around the lagoon to, drink around the world or snack around the world or eat around the world, but once. I can't do it more than once anymore. I just don't have the stamina anymore.
And
So-
that's okay.
And that's okay.
That really is the point of this episode. We were going to call this Epcot for Old Farts. Decided to soften that a little bit. But
It still fits, though.
It does. But I think we're going to actually make this a series and cover all the parks. And how can you do all the parks if maybe you are older like we are and you've been there a couple times. You don't need to do everything. You don't feel like you have to do every single thing in the park. Here's a good plan for that.
And that's the best part about being a Disney adult who has been to Disney World or Disneyland multiple times. You don't have to. This is that chill day theory like you just mentioned.
Honestly, even if it is your first time, if that's not why you're there and you just want to have a chill day, that's okay. That is okay. So let's talk about a couple of different ways that you can manage your time at Epcot. If you are a little older, if you are a little slower, if you fill any of those categories, then this is for you. So what's the first thing that we have on our list, Rod?
Well, first thing is, if you're a Disney senior adult and you can't get around as easy as you could.
That's
true. You don't have to be in the senior adult to not be able to get around.
Yes.
So if you need to rent a scooter, do it. Everybody does it.
And don't fight it. We went to Epcot once with our parents, and Dad was having some mobility issues at the time, and he did not want to rent a scooter. He thought that would make him look like an old codger running around. And we had the best time. We finally convinced him to do it, and we had the best time. He didn't have to struggle to keep up. He didn't have to hurt himself. It ended up being one of the best days I think we ever had at Disney with them.
Well, it turns out he really enjoyed driving that thing around.
He did. A little too much, I think. But it was also great because we got to store all of our bags and purses and stuff on the scooter. It was a win-win all the way around.
So a couple things about renting a scooter, or as they call them, ECVs at Epcot. They're rentable at both entrances, so you can get them at the main entrance, and you can also get them at the International Gateway.
Something to note, however, is they will sell out. Not they may sell out, they will sell out.
Yeah, so at the Disney theme parks, an ECV is $65 per day with a $20 refundable deposit, which you leave at the location, and you get that back when you turn in the scooter. Just so you know, if you're at Disney Springs, you can also rent them there for the same amount, but they do charge a $100 deposit because it's a little easier to drive out of Disney Springs with them than Epcot. So they charge a little higher refundable deposit, but other than that, they're $65 a day. Now, here's the thing. Like Sue said, they do sell out. you cannot make a reservation for them. It is first come, first serve. So if you're talking a busy holiday weekend, you want to get there as early as possible. I'm not saying rope drop, but pretty close.
But rope drop.
Yeah. And now, there are other options to that, is that you can rent them to be dropped off at your hotel by a vendor. Disney actually recommends one called Scooter Bug. They'll also do it at other locations in Orlando, like Universal Studios or SeaWorld, or even within the Orlando area. Just look them up on the web under Scooter Bug, and they are a private company, but Disney does work with them or partner with them for this type of thing. When they run out of scooters, this is who they recommend. Now, there's all kinds of scooter companies out there. We're not going to recommend one because we don't know any personally, but the reason Scooter Bug is good is because they work with Disney. You know that they're going to be able to drop off at the resorts with no problems.
Now, something we should mention as well, if you are worried about this, if you are renting an ECV, you should know that you are still welcome to use Disney World Transport with that. So transportation is still an option. Buses are available. They are kind of a pain in the butt with these. But Monorail and Skyliner, super, super easy. They have the little ramps. You just drive in at the same level on the Skyliner. Very easy to navigate with this.
And the friendship boats from the International Gateway. Boats. Yeah.
Good call.
Now, one thing you cannot do is if you're taking an ECV around Epcot, you cannot leave the park with it to go to another park. So if you're park hopping, you have to leave it there, take your receipt over to the other park or Disney Springs, show it to them, and they'll give you an ECV if they're available. Again, availability is never guaranteed with these, so just be aware of that. You're not able to rent it at Epcot and take it to studios.
Which is another good reason to use one of those outside companies as well, because then it's yours for the day and you can take it wherever you want to.
Now, while you're on your scooter or walking around, smell the roses. This is something that Sue and I love to do when we go specifically to Epcot.
Yes.
And specifically during the Garden Festival, but really any of the times you're at Epcot. There is so much to see at the park that is not ride-based. It is just a gorgeous park. Now, if you're listening to us and you've been listening to us for a long time, you already know this. If you're listening to us maybe for the first time because
welcome.
Welcome. You're now an Epcotian. Just note that Epcot is full of gardens and full of just hidden away spaces, especially in World Showcase.
There's so many nooks and crannies to look through. Not all of them have stairs. Some of them will have a couple of steps to get into, like, the Stave Church has a couple of steps in Norway to go in and look in there. But there's no steps all the way through Morocco.
Oh, and Japan.
And Japan. So most of it is going to be accessible even with an ECV, or if you have trouble with steps, that is no problem at all. You can still explore all of those little nooks and crannies. The only one that may be a problem for you might be Canada.
No, you can go down.
Oh, if you go all the way through the garden.
Go through the Bouchard Gardens entrance towards Le Cellier.
Where you smell the roses.
Right. If you need to get up top, they do have ramps that take you up to where the stores are. Or the new DVC preview area.
Yeah, and actually, while we're talking about Canada, that is one of our favorite gardens to explore. That's a gorgeous garden that leads all the way back to the caves back there where you go into Le Cellier. But back behind, there's a waterfall that comes down. It's one of the most peaceful parts of Epcot, I think.
And hidden. It's hard to find.
It's beautiful back there. So if you haven't taken the time to go do that, this is your invitation. Go take the time to do that. And we always mention this, but I'm going to mention it again because I usually say it wrong. So I'm going to say it right this time. In Morocco, go visit the Fez House. And I usually call it the House of Fez, but it's the Fez House. And it is a beautiful tucked away nook. It is not air conditioned, but it's shaded. It is open to the sky. So if it's raining, you may get wet. But there's benches back there. It's peaceful. It's absolutely gorgeous with all the Moroccan tile and everything. There's nooks and crannies everywhere. So take the time, explore these times when you're not running from ride to ride to ride or reservation to reservation to park to park to park. This is your time. If you are a senior adult and you are someone who wants to just explore, Epcot is the place to be.
And if you're in the Germany Pavilion, make sure and look for the model railroad area and check out the shenanigans going on in the town. There always seems to be a murder. Or during Halloween, you might even find Dracula or somebody attacking the local townsfolk.
And they do like to celebrate the local festivals as well. If there's an Epcot festival going on, this tiny town does celebrate that as well. But there is always some scandal happening. So absolutely take time to check that out, especially if you've got a great storytelling imagination. this is a really fun little side gig.
Now, if you're familiar with going to Epcot, you've heard of drinking around the world. Soon I actually have a better idea. If you're not into the alcohol or it's just too hot and you don't want to get yourself completely dehydrated during the day, snack around the world. There are unique snacks in each pavilion, including places like China, where if you go to the gift shop, you'll find a whole range of Lay's potato chips that are only available from China in that shop.
Most of the bags don't even have an English translation on them, so you kind of have to guess from the picture.
Scary, yeah.
Or use your phone. Or have one of your kids use your phone.
Right, there you go. Or go to Mitsukoshi and go to the snack area in the back. And, just let me say there's some very interesting ones in there. Like soft-shell crab that doesn't need to be refrigerated in little packages. It's
dehydrated.
It's scary.
It is scary. And they have dehydrated squid and all kinds of things. But they also have like pocky and haichus. And now we did come up with a couple of ideas for each of the countries. There are 11 countries that you can explore at Epcot. And we recommend visiting every single one of them because we adore them. So let's just kind of run down the list and give some ideas of how you could just do a quick snack in each of the countries instead of a drink if that is not your thing. So in Mexico, we recommend grabbing tacos and a margarita from Cantina de San Angel. Normally, we would recommend doing the street corn because we always recommend the street corn, but we wanted to recommend something different this time.
A little different. But they're both good and they're right across from each other, so grab both of them. There
Absolutely.
Over at the Germany Pavilion, stop by Summerfest and grab the pretzel bread pudding. Or, of course, anything there at Caramel Kusha. It's always so good.
In Norway, we recommend grabbing the school bread, which is a very classic coconut confection, or the lefse, which is an underrated treat. I think it's not very sweet, which is why I think a lot of people don't enjoy it as much.
Well, it looks so simple. It's basically just looks like a rolled tortilla.
Yeah. But it's the
good.
lefse bread. It's the non-sweet bread, and it has like butter and sugar, and it's really yummy, but it's not terribly sweet, so it gets overlooked.
Over in China, look at the pot stickers. Over at the walk-up, great little burst of energy, little burst of protein.
And very shareable.
And very shareable.
That's a great one. Also, in Italy, you can visit the pizza window, get a slice of pizza. Also very shareable. It is big. Or go to the gelato cart.
Gelato, yeah. Over in the U.S., it's not a lot, but you can get funnel cakes or soft serve, or look for the festival booth here because a lot of times they have something unique that's really kind of yummy that's a little more familiar.
Now, we should mention all of these are things that you can get year-round. These are all things available during Diet Epcot, which is when there's not a festival going on. Which is
most of the summer now.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But if there's a festival, always pick a festival booth.
Oh, yeah.
In Morocco, we recommend grabbing one of the pieces of baklava at the walk-up window. So good. Very sticky, harder to share, but worth it.
Speaking of sticky, Japan, right at the front on the left, there's a little bitty booth that serves kakagori. It's basically shave ice. It's so good. But this location, the Kabuki Cafe, also has a selection of sushi. So again, a real good place to just kind of swing through and grab something and continue on your trek around World Showcase.
Yes, and again, sushi, very shareable, and it's very user-friendly. It's like California rolls. It's nothing scary. And over in France, we're going to recommend grabbing a crepe.
Oh, these are so good.
Because you're in France. Now, there is a restaurant that you can do a whole sit-down meal based on crepes, but there's also a walk-up window where you can just grab one to go.
The best thing is they have both sweet and savory crepes.
Yes, the buckwheat savory ones are delicious. They're filled with cheese and ham, and they're really yummy.
Yeah. Well, of course, you're going to walk through the UK at some point. Fish and chips. I mean, it's pretty much all you can get, but I'm just going to say it again. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Because it's that good.
And last but not least, we have Canada, where you have to get the maple popcorn.
Well,
over in Germany, you can get the caramel corn, but we love the maple.
There's nothing else to get.
Well, that too.
Kind of sparse when it comes to walk-ups.
So that's just sort of a fun twist on drinking around the world. You can just try snacking around the world.
Well, we talked about attractions. Of course, if you're there and you're a Disney senior adult, you're probably not going over to Barf Alley and doing Guardians and the spinny ride was a Mission Space. And you may not even do Test Track. It just depends on how much into attractions you are or fast rides. But the other side of the park is perfect for people that want a slower pace. You've got Soarin', which is called Mom's Favorite Ride for a reason. It's every mom's favorite ride. but maybe you're the mom now or the dad. And it's user-friendly in that it's not a high-energy ride. It kind of looks like it should be, but it's not. It's very, very relaxing and one of the best scores of any Disney attraction ever.
And it's fun because it does have a tiny thrill factor without being a scary ride.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's Mom's favorite ride.
Exactly.
We're also right there, you've got Living with the Land, which if you've listened to us at all, you know is one of our favorites. Very, very fun, old school Epcot attraction.
Good on the edutainment. You are literally going through greenhouses, but on a slow moving boat. And I don't know why we love it, but we love it. We also always recommend Spaceship Earth, of course, where you can go in and thank the Phoenicians. This is a slow-moving ride where you get to go through the history of communication. If you are at all a fan of old school Epcot, this is definitely one that you have to hit.
Can go to Frozen Ever After is a great one. It's not a thrill ride, but it does have a small drop. And so it's a little more energetic, but it's a really fun one. Easy one on the back, I'll put it that way.
And very fun.
Yeah. Really has some of the best animatronics, too, you're going to find at Epcot. La Gran Fiesta Tour at the Mexico Pavilion, same thing. It's a small boat ride, but it's a flat ride. It doesn't go any up and down.
No drops. Zero thrill.
But also really fun.
You may also enjoy doing the Circle Vision movies. Our parents loved these. There's one in Canada. There's one in China. There is one in France.
Kind of half a one in
France. Yeah, France actually isn't a Circle Vision, but there is a film.
Check the France one because it's only available in the early morning and late evening. During the day, it's a sing-along for Beauty and the Beast, which is really kind of fun. It's a different storytelling of Beauty and the Beast, even. So if you're there with friends and family and you don't mind doing karaoke, go do it.
One of the things that we also enjoy is back in the American Adventure Pavilion, you will find the American Adventure Show. And this is one of the longer shows. If you need a nap, this is a great place. We actually recommend watching the show because we like it.
It's a great show, but you're right. It's air conditioned and it's dark.
On a hot day, it's really hard not to fall asleep. But we love this show. It celebrates the history of America in a very Disney-fied fashion, of course. But it has a 1.5 billion, I think, last we counted, animatronics. I think
it's a lot, yeah.
It's seriously like up in the 40s. Like, it's a ton of animatronics, and it's a good show with a great song at the end, a little montage. Highly recommend.
Well, Seas with Nemo and Friends, which is right there at the front of the park, largest, or second largest aquarium in the U.S., is just an amazing place to just go and spend. You can spend half a day in this place. It's literally a large aquarium, but it has an attraction too. It looks like it's for kids, but it's really for the family. If you like Nemo at all, go see the attraction as well. So if you don't want to do the attraction, just note that you can walk in through the gift shop on the left-hand side and just do the aquarium. A lot of people don't realize you can do that.
It's a 2-story aquarium. You could spend all day in there if you wanted to. Don't forget to go upstairs and say hi to the manatees. We love the manatees. There's also a whole room that's based on tank animals with fishes and eels, little sea urchins that sometimes have hats and such on. So take a look at what the sea urchins are wearing.
And please note that the sea urchins put them on themselves.
They do.
The cast members are not dressing them up. They're not being mean.
It's a natural instinct for them to blend in with their surroundings. So every once in a while, you'll find that the cast members have put something in there for them to decorate themselves.
Mickey ears are my favorite. I love it.
So cute.
Well, also, plan a nice dinner. Epcot is one of the best food parks on the planet, and it has some of the best sit-down restaurants you're going to find, not just in the theme park, but also in the Walt Disney World Resort, like the San Angel Inn, which we've talked about over and over and over again, in the Mexico Pavilion, indoors in the air conditioning, Le Cellier in Canada for a good steak.
Coral Reef over at the Seas Pavilion is controversial. We have always had good experiences here, but we have heard that other people have not, and it gets a bit of a bad rap for that. Because of that, it's usually easy to get a reservation. And recently we were able to do a review of Shikisai, which is the new restaurant over in the Japan Pavilion. Highly recommend. This is maybe my new favorite for Epcot. We absolutely loved Shikisai, so if you like Japanese food at all, give that one a try.
Now, another thing you can do is take the friendship boats. I'm going to point this out before we get too far in, too. If you're in the front or the back of the park, the friendship boats during the day hours, so before the sun goes down, you can get it as you exit from what used to be Future World into World Showcase, and it goes across over to Morocco. But those same friendship boats are available just outside of the international gateway between the UK and France, and will take you to some other Disney hotels right outside of Epcot. Blue Zoo, we've talked about this one a billion times over at the Dolphin.
And also you can go over to the Yacht Club and enjoy a nice sit-down steak dinner at the Yachtsman. So basically it is okay to leave the park for dinner.
The best part about the whole thing, though, is if you're a Disney senior adult, don't think you have to rope drop, and don't think you have to close the park. It's open for 12 hours every day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Go in the early of the morning to get some of the less hot, or go after the sun goes down to get some of the less hot. And use some of the other time to just stay back at the resort and take a nap, because Disney senior adult, that's what you're going to do.
Or use that time to explore some of those nooks and crannies we were talking about where you can be in the shade. Just sit in the Fez house for a little while with a nice mint tea from Morocco and just chill. I mean, you don't have to be on the go, I think is the point of that.
Yeah, go grab a Joffrey's from one of the, 5 different Joffrey's carts around Epcot?
If you count the one outside the gate, yeah.
And just pick a bench and just people watch. That's actually one of my favorite things to do when it's really hot. Find a shaded area and just watch people go by. Make up little stories about them. Give them funny voices.
And also, if you do have multiple days at Epcot, which not everybody does on a trip, we understand that, but if you do, cut the park in half. Spend a whole day at the front of the park in the what do they call them now?
Yeah, the World Celebration,
World
Nature, and Discovery.
World of Motion. No, we're old. We're
too
old.
Soon. Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to tackle the whole thing in one day. When it was initially a concept, it was conceptualized as 2 different parks. You can treat it that way. Treat it as 2 parks. Take your time and explore all the bits and pieces of each of those areas. And you'll still have a fantastic time without wearing yourself out. And I do want to mention before we cut this off, I'm going to say it is okay if you are a grown-up going with grown-ups. It is okay if you want to meet characters. That is all right to do. You don't have to have a child with you to go up and meet Mickey Mouse. Embrace your own inner child. Let your inner child go meet Mickey Mouse. You will not regret it. I guarantee it.
I love that. Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our theme music composer, Jason Patrick Rowan, whose music is licensed to Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenicians.
Thank you, Phoenicians. And don't forget to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe. It really does help other people find us. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production and a proud gold member of D23. Thanks for joining us today for episode 112 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see you in line.
Bye.
Thank the Phoenicians.
Over in China, look for the...
Now we're in Italy.
Turned into Oaken.